Hello, everyone. Sorry for the delays today. Hope you're all doing well. Well, glad to be here. I had a bunch of little things that I had to take care of, so I had to postpone the live stream when I scheduled it a few minutes here and there. So, yet, we're here now. Avatar Man is here, says, Hi, Meran. Thank you for all the help you have given me. You're a good man. God bless you. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. I can take that. And we have Aman here, a supporter of the channel, 100%. And he says, let me first read it because sometimes I gotta censor what he writes. He writes everything he likes to write, and that's fine. Let's say, Aman, I don't even know what you're talking about. That whatever you explained did not come through the other day that you're now following it up. I don't know what you told her. I don't know what she said to you. I don't know who you're talking about. And I don't know if that word uh, is representing what it usually means or if it's something else. So you need to explain a little bit further as what it is, what the relationship is, what that word represents. If it's representing that sexual connotation of it, then I can understand. But what is it like? If it's will it be fool of myself if I ask her if she was serious about the blow comment or she's interested or what? I mean, you're going from the middle of the story. I don't know, what's going on with you and her. And you say, I don't know girls' nature. I never hung out around many girls before. Yeah, just don't take them all, everything they say seriously. They could have other meanings. There could be other intentions, and she may not really. She may be joking, not joking, but you'll figure it out. All right. So we have seven good people here, which two of them asking questions, the others are hiding away. So, how is my voice quality here? Is the microphones working okay? Last week when we had a Sunday afternoon live stream, it was pretty packed in a way compared to the five or six that we get. Like we had like 17, 18 people. So I thought I, use the same time frame and see if that is a usual thing or it was just a fluke. Sometimes at 12 midnight, we get lots of people from different parts of the world, Australia, UK, and so on. Not UK, yeah, maybe India mostly, Australia, India, and so on. The time zone works for them. And sometimes we don't. I use the same timeline, and suddenly only two people, three people show up. So we really don't know what's going on. Maybe one day, if I wake up very early morning, like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, maybe I'll do a live stream then and see. Years ago in 2016, when I was doing a live stream for a Facebook channel that they had asked me to do live stream for them, they had 5 million subscribers on that channel. It was a channel from Facebook page from India. And we had a few hundred people, 500 people in the live streams. But that was because, that Facebook page was already populated. So it was a very good platform in order. And then I moved it to my own Facebook page, and we still had lots of people, like a couple of hundred people or 500 people sometimes. But since I moved to YouTube, instead of increasing, max we had maybe at one time with 32 people. Of course, we were always busy with lots of questions, and some of the live streams in occasions went as far as 4 or 5 hours a live stream, and I was sitting there just answering questions back to back. However, we wouldn't do that anymore. We wouldn't have that long of a live stream anymore. Mostly an hour or maximum 2 hours. But we are hoping to have a lot more people participating and enjoying and benefiting from it. Give me one moment, guys. I'll be right back. Just all right. So we have Avatar says, my one question is, do you believe that God has planned for us to find our true love? I've loved before, but been dumped a few times, and I'm not giving up until I find true love. After sorry, 39 male UK. Hmm. Well, whatever you call God, some people call God, some people call nature, some people call universe, some people call energy. Whatever it is that you consider to be the creator of all these, what we go through, in my opinion, has given us all the equipment that we need to go and bring about the results we're looking for. That what you call God, that what we call God, again, God, nature, universe, energy, whatever it is that we call, consider the creator, is not going to be micromanaging us that, oh, I have plans for him. I keep him hungry so he will enjoy the tandoori chicken that I'm going to give him next month. If you're not getting the food that you're looking for or hoping for to have, nourishments, and if you're living in a normal environment, as much as we could call it normal, like opportunities, possibilities, abundance is there, then it's your fault. You're waiting for a handout, waiting for that what you call God to what? Be a butler, a cook, bring your food to the table. You gotta get off your ass and go. If you have to cultivate the land to get that what you want to grow and eat, gotta do it. Gotta go get the chicken's egg, gotta do it. Gotta go to store and buy stuff, gotta go work and get money and do it. Whatever the society's norm happen to be where you live, well, it's up to you because his role in such regards pretty much ended when it gave you the abilities to go and muster up the grub that you need to eat and be nourished. Well, the same thing goes with your other things. You want a good job, you can't find it. Wherever you go, they turn you down. You're going to say, well, is God having a plan for me to give me a good job? Will I ever find it? It's up to you to research a company, to become expert in that knowledge or education or the expertise that you're seeking, or be better at it, or research them more, find their weak points and shortcomings in their company, and go and do a better interview, and you'll get a job if you have the education and all that. Endow yourself with that knowledge and then go get a job, the job that you're looking for. But not being prepared and going in and then just not getting in and say, well, God has a plan for me. It's just excuses. Now, the girlfriends that you're going around, how old are you? 39? If they're not suitable, that means you're just simply going at it in the wrong way. Maybe you're going it with certain kind of a desperate energy. Maybe you're going with it such a romantic thing in your mind, a true love. What is a true love? What the fuck you're talking about? True love? What is true love? True love, you're not going to find it right in front of your face. True love is going to be sculptured. You're going to meet someone, and if you find her qualified, which you need to qualify her, you can't just say, oh, she's pretty, therefore she's the true love. She's perfect. Why? Because she gets my dick up. That's not a credit to her. That's the way you're programmed. That's your gender. That's your inclination. That's your interest. You get horny when you see a pretty girl. That's not a credit to her. So you got to find out what beyond that she's good for. She's qualified. What does she bring into table? Education, patience, proper femininity. She attends to her duties as a woman in a relationship. She's trying to make a statement that she's a feminist rather than working on a relationship. Is she bringing a certain kind of a wisdom that can help both of you together to build something? Is she educated? Does she have a job? Does she produce something? Does she have a good head on her shoulder? Does she have class, manners, morals? Does she want to be the center of that relationship? Does she want to have a relationship? Got to see if she's qualified and if she brings to the table as much as you're so eager to bring her and offer it to her. Once you find that person and you're working together, the relationship goes on for a few years and you guys become more and more unselfish and take care of each other and learn and grow on consciousness level and bond on consciousness level. Then you begin to create the love that you're looking for. The pure love or true love bullshit that you're talking about doesn't come up at the beginning of a relationship. Yeah, you may be infatuated and horny about her, and she may be excited about you, your looks, or your fitness, or your ability to provide, whatever it is that makes her interested in you, or your manners or morals, or whatever it is. But it's going to take a long time before you guys actually consider that love. At the beginning, is it love? Do you love her? Or do you love what she does for you? Does she love you? Or she loves what you do for her? These are what happens at the beginning of a relationship. And the rest of it, calling yourself, I was dumped and all that, you're already giving a leg up to them that they're better than you, that they dumped you, instead of thinking that whatever happened, that relationship wasn't working out because we were not qualified for each other. In her mind, I wasn't. And in my mind, obviously, she wasn't qualified because if she was, she would have held on to me, not let me go, or not ask me to leave, or not break up the relationship. First, you got to learn not to put yourself down. Second, you got to learn, you got to make a good selection. Third, you got to learn that you got to qualify the woman. And just because they show up with high heels and all dude up and boobs here and that, and that's not what's going to make a relationship happy or a happy life or end up true love. That's true lust, maybe, but not true love. So you got to have respect for self while you have respect for them and expect from them what you offer yourself in a different ways. And then see through the relationship, you two together can create that true love. Otherwise, the rest of it is pie in the sky and all bullshit. And God is going to have nothing to do with it. You has given you all the credentials and all the wisdom that you could use in order to create that true love for yourself. That's what I have, all I have to say about that. Hope that helps you out. All right. So obviously, we have a number of people here, but we don't have much questions. So, okay, that'll be a short discussion today. Hmm. Let's take a vacation right here for a second. We go to Hawaii island of Maui and we enjoy a little bit of a tropical shore. This is Lahaina in Maui, Ka'anapali area. And there's a big, beautiful outdoor mall here, right here, further out that I can't get there, right? Those palm trees are in front of it. So you go that away, you will have the mall. And right here is the front of this hotel that I used to stay. And you can have dinner right in front of the ocean or breakfast right beside the ocean and pool, pretty much. And that's Black Rocks there. Behind it, there's a beautiful, beautiful shallow beach. That was where we used to hang out. And we found that beach in 2000. Yeah, in 2001, I believe. My son and I, it was undiscovered pretty much. Only a few people knew about it. But now it kind of gets pretty busy sometimes. So now we took a trip to Maui and back. We are here. So, so what's going on, guys? Why you guys are so quiet? Cat got your tongue. All right. Nobody told me what's the quality of the sound here, sound quality. I want to make sure that it is living up to the standards that I hope it is. Microphone is pretty good microphone, but lately there's been some. I can't tell the difference between the. Is it the microphone picking it up or is it the um, laptop picking it up? God knows. It makes me. I get a feeling that I'm talking to myself because nobody's saying anything. Could you guys give me some feedback for heaven's sake? Is the sound quality good? God damn it. I can go on the balcony and talk to myself, and I don't need to make sure sound quality is good. Any feedback from you guys, but if you guys want to ignore me, go ahead. I'll ignore you the first question I get. Now I can see you guys. What was happening? I could not see any response from you guys. Now I reloaded it. My goodness, there's so many people here, and I thought nobody's responding to me. Okay, now, did you guys hear everything I said, or was I talking into the air? Because I got no feedback from you guys. Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Can you guys give me feedback? I can see all your response. Uh huh. Good. Okay. So obviously we're back. There was some glitch maybe, and I just refreshed it, and we're all back to normal. All right. So let me catch up with what was not showing up. Cricket Lover says, I want to marry a girl. How I develop such thoughts again, HOCD suck. Yeah, well, HOCD is just statics. You're not supposed to be taking it seriously. You got to simply understand the separation between brain and you, and those statics simply mask over what you usually and normally see and feel. But none of those amazing feelings that you always had and have haven't gone anywhere. None of them. It's just been too much noise around you, and it's like a fog over your glasses, or too much sound of the buses and traffic that doesn't let you hear the music. Otherwise, the music is playing. So you're perfectly fine. You just got to distinguish that these are all statics, and you simply got to ignore rather than paying attention, trying to, uh, you know, interpret it and see what is a message. There's no message. Just brain has gone malfunctioning, and there's a glitch. That's all. Uh, Sam Lewis says, how does someone stop the grieving after 4 years, losing 20-year marriage to horrific infidelity and betrayal? I'm still so hurt and miss my family being together. Sam, could you let me know how old you are, what your gender is, and where you're tuning in from, which city, country? These little information give me a bit of a information, or maybe lots of information in this short exchange. So I would know your gender, how to address you, your understand your emotional um, influence on your thoughts, and age will tell me a little bit where you are in life, and the city or the country you're from. Watching the program will give me a little bit of a cultural background, at least as much as I can muster it up, unless you come from a different country and live in a different country, and that will help me out if I know those informations as well. So let me know that, and I'll get back to your question. And WCT says, hello, Marin. I was drawn to the screensaver, decided to watch. Oh, wonderful. Is it your first time here? But obviously not, because you know my name. And I've seen WCT as a screen name here before. And WCT says it's good. Says, oh, 46 male. Wow. Oh, my goodness. You're from my homeland. I mean, adopted homeland, Hawaii Islands. You're welcome. Always welcome, Hawaiian people. I love Hawaii. It's my adopted uh, homeland. But I come from Maui, so you know. And Rushi Patel says, ha 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 to what? Rushi says, Rushi says, you have answered so many inquiries about this breakup business. I ran out of questions. Ah, that's what I like to hear. And WCT says going in with expectations may be destructive later. Yeah, true. You just got to go and it's like you go into a store and you have certain kind of an idea what you want. But when you see that package or that product, then you come up with certain kind of expectation. Oh, that's going to do this. That's going to exactly do what I've been hoping for and all that. Then you take it home and you may be disappointed or you may be pleasantly surprised. So let it function and let it go on. Let it perform. See what kind of a features this little equipment that you just bought from the store has, and then you make your judgment. Same thing in a relationship. You meet someone that you like, well, great, cherish that. It's a blessing. But don't come up with all kinds of credentials that she doesn't have or she hasn't shown it out yet. Either one of you would have to be patient and through interactions and life challenges, how you deal with each other, how you support each other in light of challenges, then eventually you earn certain kind of a understanding the capabilities of each one of yours, and you go from there, and then you start giving credits based on your actions and the behaviors and treatment of each other rather than simply giving all that kudos and characteristics to that other person because you're just so fond of her. And then you get disappointed because you keep wondering, why is she not doing what she can or I thought she will or she did at one time? Because you got to be patient to see if she is really what you're hoping for, or you had given her an image in your mind. You created an image of her, and you gave that image to her, and you're having a relationship between that image, the image you have of your mind, the image you have of yourself in your mind, and the image you have created from her in your mind. These two images are having a relationship with each other, but you don't really know her, and she doesn't really know you. So if you take those images off and see each other in action in life and in light of the challenges of life, after a while you get to know the real each other rather than having a relationship with the images, because then you break up and at the end you find out that you never knew each other. It was always the images that you had created for each other in yourselves in your own mind that has been in a relationship. And that's why it broke up, because you never really knew who's behind that image. All right. Ash is here. Ash says, "Hey, brother, I just stumbled upon a post on a public internet forum by some guy who claims he's married and just had a kid with his wife, but says he's probably more gay than he thinks. So he can think whatever he likes. If he was, he wouldn't be married and have a child. He makes his own decision. Obviously, his awareness knew what he is all about, rather than his brain trying to dictate to him, as obviously it's still dictating to him. Yeah, well, when you keep focusing on something that is not true, your brain doesn't understand the difference between actuality and virtuality. And what you're focusing on to the brain, after a while, becomes a condition that the brain thinks that's what the truth is, because you keep paying attention to it. It becomes part of the routine of the day for the brain to focus on. And that is exactly what you're not supposed to do. You have your vetoes and choices. So you keep ignoring what you don't prefer and you focus on what you choose and it's within your values. So in this way, the brain, it rewires itself and focuses on what you, the master, the entity, the person, prefers according to your choices and according to your inclination. The brain also catches on. Otherwise, if you let the brain be, the brain has no gender, brain has no understanding. It just conjures up thoughts based on triggers, this anxiety, that, and that thought showed up, and it doesn't know the difference between actuality and virtuality, and it acts on them as if that is it. You're responsible to help it out to come to understanding of who you are and what you want, what you prefer, and how the brain should perform to please you in line with your values. Otherwise, you let the brain go. Brain has no intellect to know who you are, what you are, to follow you. Brain is a machine. You take the brain, put it on somebody else. I bet you, if you take the brain and implant it in a woman's head, if she's had an accident and if they could possibly do that, the brain will function for her as her gender inclination is. The brain is not going to make her to be a man, because it's just a machine that calculates based on your values, your mandate, your orders, your preferences, and your inclination, which is not in the brain. Your inclination, your intellect, your consciousness, they don't have a localizing, they cannot be localized in the brain. So if you take a brain of a man and put it in a woman's head, it will comply to the woman's wishes and inclinations and so on. It doesn't take an inclination with it there. That's why the brain makes all kind of shit. But you are beyond the brain. You're supposed to treat and train and help the brain to behave, be conditioned to behave for you. Because the brain is not you. You're not the brain. Brain is an apparatus, like your liver, like your kidney. That's why you take a kidney, put it in somebody else, if they are matching in as far as the bloodline, blood type and all that, it will do the function for them. It's not going to ask, what gender you are. It's an apparatus, it's an organ. So stop these business of, it triggered me. Well, triggered you, fuck that. So what? You say, yeah, it triggered, it bothers me. Many things triggers people, and say, then they focus on what they want to focus, and then ignore what it's, not in their liking, and not their preference, and not their choice, and not their inclination, and not their values. And simple. You're supposed to understand you're the boss. You're the programmer, not the brain. The funny thing is that people who find this business of trigger and denial and all that, it's so interesting that a doubt for you is an evidence that what you are, what you've always been, what you want to be is not you. A doubt. But you seek evidence for what you are, what you have been, what you prefer to be. You want an evidence, you want assurances, but you don't want an evidence for what brings to your mind a denial or a doubt. Like, all it needs is a doubt that you're assured that you're not what you are. But in order to know that you are, what you've always been, you want evidences. How stupid is this? How does that work? For what I am, what I've always been, all it takes is a doubt. Doubt becomes an evidence that I'm not what I've always been. But in order for me to know what I've always been, and I am what I've always been, and what I want to be, I have to have evidence. But you don't need to have evidence for the other side of it. All you need, a doubt to what you've always been, is an evidence for you that you're not what you've always been. Isn't that so stupid? Doesn't that tell you that this is the brain's malfunction? How is it that for what you've always been, what you want to be, what you are, what you love to be, what you prefer to be, you need evidence and assurances? But all you need to be convinced that you're not what you've always been, what you want to be, what you love to be, is to doubt it. You don't need any evidence for proof me that I am on the other side. So that simply tells you it's a malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. It's got nothing to do with facts and truth and anything changing in you or having change or anything like that. It's all about the disorder of obsessive compulsive disorder. It's called the doubting disease. That's, as I mentioned before, French call it the doubting disease. As you know, of course, they have their own words for it. Le doubting disease. Stop it, guys. Just become a little bit wise about this bullshit rather than believing something that. How come you don't believe if it comes to your head that you can fly? Why don't you go fly up from the rock? No, 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 no. I'm not going to jump from the front. But why? The brain says you can fly. Huh? Have you never been on top of a cliff and you look down and then suddenly you felt like, it's pulling you down. You want to jump. You can jump. You can fly. But why is it that you don't do it? Oh, I can't risk that because I could splash there. Really? You see that? Even though you feel that you're being tempted to jump, there's a suggestion in your brain says, jump. If that suggestion comes from the brain, which you know it does because you're at the top of the cliff, you look down and you get the idea of jumping. You're pulled down. Who's suggesting that? The brain. It's not you, because if it was you, you would have jumped. But it is you, your intellect, that stops this suggestion of jumping because you reason with it. Fuck, that's not me. I don't want to do that. I know what's going to happen. The brain that can actually suggest such a horrendous and horrific lack of wisdom suggestion, and you fucking believe that it's telling you your gender is changing. What's the difference if it makes a mistake there and you know it's making a mistake? Why is it that this one is not a mistake? What gives credibility to the brain? Brain is not an intellect. Brain is not you. You are the one that at the last moment you say, no, I'm not going to jump. And the same thing with you. You are the one who judge what the brain suggested. No, I am who I am, what I like to be. If, I'm a heterosexual, that's my choice. That's what I am. I love and I protect it. It's sacred. If you're homosexual, that's what you love. That's what you want to be. Then you protect it and that's sacred to you. Whatever gender you are understanding that the brain is not you. You're not the brain. And the brain cannot simply suggest by suggestion, change your gender. You get anxiety from it because you don't want to be that. You question it because if you were, you wouldn't question anything. Everything would be easy. Anyhow, Ash, I hope that gives you something to ponder. And the Lugani says, all good, Maron. All right. Good. Thank you for the sound quality, I guess. Morgan Freelancer gives a thumbs up. Thank you for that. Guys, don't forget to click on the thumbs up thingy. It helps. And don't forget to promote the channel. God damn it, guys. We're going to wither and die if you guys don't get your asses moving and promote this channel somehow in your social media, share the videos, talk about it in chat lines. I can't get it going any faster than it is. It's very slow. Somehow we don't get exposure. We don't get, people don't see us. So share the videos and help us to grow. If you think the topics and the discussions are worthy for you and helps out, then I bet you it helps millions of others. But we got to reach out to them. Like we got to let them know we're here. For that, I need you guys to promote this. That's your answer. There it is. Ash, that's your answer. You just gave your answer. So there is no need to be anxious when this is how you judge and this is how you prefer and this is what you think and this is coming from your values. The rest of it is the anxiety, is the following the brain, thinking brain is got intellect. It's that you're a perfectionist and you think a perfect position of you, a perfect condition of you is when there is no statics in the head. There is no such a human being in the world that there is no intrusive thoughts of one kind or another in their heads. You can't wait until the head is empty of all these shits that is not in line with your values. And then you say, oh, now I am who I am. No, you are who you are. You've always been who you've always been. You've always been who you are. You will always be who you are today and you want to be and prefer to be. The intrusive thoughts will not go away because that's part of the fucking brain. That's what it does. That's why there is a higher entity than the brain, which is you, your intellect, and you siphon, you choose, you ignore, you pass by, you don't pay attention to the stuff that the brain makes. Brain suggest, you select. It's not one and the same. The brain does not do the veto. Brain is not even present when you veto something. According to the experiment of Dr. Leibet, one of the world famous known scientists, neuroscientists, neurosurgeons, in his experiment, he showed clearly that there are aspects of mind and you that the brain cannot even reach. When you choose to make a decision, a simple decision like pushing a button, a half a second before you decide to push a button, the experience shows that there is a magnetic energy created in the brain. So brain gets a reflex, gets an understanding that there is a decision being made or about to be made. But when you make that decision, that apparently brain can sense it before you make that decision, but when you make that decision and you change your mind, you veto that decision, there is no magnetic field generated, energy generated in the brain. None. Brain is dead. Not even aware. Not even in the picture. When you veto a decision, what does that mean? That means you're the top dog, not the brain. Brain can make suggestion, become aware of a suggestion coming by you a bit ahead of time. But brain is no judgmental. It's got no ability to know your values or consult with you or know that you're going to veto this. Because when you veto the same decision that actually the brain had a magnetic energy current going through it before you made that decision, brain has no energy going through it. None whatsoever. It's dead, like it doesn't even exist when you veto that decision. What does that tell you? The brain is not in power. You are. You make decisions. You choose. You ignore. Brain is a reactive, guesses things, throws out things, but doesn't have an intellectual property to decide for you based on your values. You do that. That's why when you veto something, you make a judgment, brain is not involved. There's no magnetic generated field in there at all. While Dr. Leibet had all these probes in the brains of people while these experiments were going on. He's measured them. Data is available. So stop this belief that the brain told me my gender is changing. That's changing. I am that. I'm in denial. All fucking bullshit. It's all malfunction at the brain. And beside, the brain is not involved when you are making the decisions of vetoing some obvious things that the brain could guess. That, something. It's like the brain has an anxiety, feels that you are about to make a decision. So there's a generation of a magnetic field. But when you actually, he's got no anticipation and cannot feel anything when you actually are making the selection and judgment about that decision and you veto it. Brain is not even there. So, who's the boss? Be the boss. All right. That's the answer to your comment, which I hope it will be helpful to you when you said, I have no desire to insert my penis into another man's ass, though, or even kiss a man. So why is this shit still triggering me? Well, that's what the answer was for. So, here's the answer. And the same for homosexuals who actually get hit by the thought of being heterosexual, and that freaks them out. So it's not just limited to heterosexuals. Homosexuals also get attacked by HOCD. It's the same for all of us. As they would say, they have no desire to put their penis in a vagina, and they or kiss a woman, and so they wonder why this is triggering them. Again, because the brain is the brain. It malfunctions in all genders. It's not one or the same. It's not. It's not different. It's all. The brain has the same malfunctions for everyone. Cricket lover says, I want to fall in love with a girl again, but OCD distract me help. Yeah, there are lots of things. You get up in the morning and you go about your business in the street. There's so many distractions. Nobody's having the marching band for you. Ah, here comes cricket lover. Have a nice day. We will open the roads for you. You do as you wish. No, they're distractions. Cars going, these going, buses going different places, people doing things, buying things, yelling out here and doing other things. You got to, try to comply with certain rules here and there. All interference and all, distractions. But what do? You learn to navigate. And there's a pothole there. You automatically, after a few times dealing with it, you automatically know there's a pothole there. You just go the other way, one step away, and that's it. You're not dealing with pothole anymore. You maneuver. You become expert in maneuvering. So, same thing. Stop listening to OCD shit. Just do your thing. Doesn't matter what gender you have, OCD, HOCD, all these other substantive OCD attacks everybody. You got to learn to manage it because the brain is malfunctioning in everybody's head at one time or another in different ways. Some in form of OCD, some in form of substantive OCD, which could be HOCD, pedophile OCD, responsibility OCD, harm OCD, religiosity OCD, all kinds of malfunctions are happening there. But if every time this malfunction happens, you're supposed to, jump around, freak out, and think, oh, that is me. Well, how many times are going to change? If they've got another OCD, you're going to have another thoughts, you're going to have another trigger. What? You're supposed to be able to siphon through and ignore bullshit, just like you're walking in the field that is all kind of debris and shit and garbage, and you just learn how to manipulate or maneuver and jump over this and run over this and move over this and take a step over and negotiate it through. That's your abilities. Nobody says it's going to be smooth sailing. So become an expert in that. Everybody's been so understanding that the train could be rough, but I have to train myself and learn how to deal with the elements and all that. But when it comes to the brain, they expect the brain to be such a cooperative entity. No, brain is all full of neurons, and these neurons, like any electrical system, go fucking haywire. So you got to learn that Become an expert in dealing with the brain's problems more than anything else. Anything else is physical, it can be fixed. Pretty much most of the stuff. But the brain is not visible. So you got to learn how to actually understand that this brain is fucking sick at this moment. I don't need to pay attention to it. Da go. Yeah, Ash, stop reading bullshit. Focus on what is pleasant to you and rewire yourself that way. You don't need to do ERP all the time by reading every shit that comes. That's not ERP. It's just creating something, that is irrelevant to you. So go about your business. Column says, 26-year-old from England, thanks for helping me. We should never listen to our thoughts. Thoughts have no message, and you've been helpful to us all. Well, thank you. Delighted to hear that. WCT says, we are here. Can you see our text? Now I can. That was half an hour ago. Thank you for that. Rabbit says, hi, Miran. Hello, Rabbit. Female, 30, LA. Well, I would have thought Rabbit would be a screen name for a male, but delighted to see that we have a female persuasion here. We miss you guys. I mean, when you guys are in the chat, it's a whole different energy, and we love for you guys to join us. This channel was originally made for boys, men, young men, and until several years ago, many women wrote and made comments to say, look, please talk to us too. We love the channel, and I want you to address our issues and, from our point of view as well. So now we made it almost including everybody. So here we go. And delighted that you're here, Rabbit. Rabbit says, my first date went good. Female, 30, Los Angeles. Says, we both got buzzed and he kissed me first at the restaurant when he walked me home. Oh, at the restaurant. When he walked me home, I kissed him this time and was more forward and kissed him on his neck. Okay, now you're getting a little kinky. So what's the question? you're turning into a sexual story, and that's not good for my blood pressure. So no, just kidding. I know she says he wanted to sleep with me. So I was being forward too, but now I'm awake and alcohol free. I'm so embarrassed. Should have just left it at first kiss when he initiated. So in other words, you say you did sleep with a guy. He ghosted me and no text call. Maybe I was too forward. I keep replaying it in my head and kicking myself. He probably thinks I'm a slut. How do I stop myself from overthinking like this? What did he not like about me? Was I not pretty enough? Anxiety still killing me. Well, the problem is not any of that. The problem is that you made him a judge about you. Who the fuck he is? You're the judge of you. That's what you wanted to do. You were horny, you liked the guy, you slept with him. That's about it. He's not confident. He thinks, if the girl likes me, I don't think I'm that hot. I don't think I'm that important. So if he likes me, if she likes me, if a girl likes me, then she might not be that special. Why? Because I don't think I'm special. If I don't think I'm special, why should she think I'm special? And if she does think I'm special, that means she's not special. That's it. It's not up to you. It's not your doing. It's the fact that the guy doesn't have enough confidence in himself, that he thinks that if he's not worthy of your offering, then why would you think that he's worthy of your offering? That would make him think that you might not be good enough for him because he's an idiot. He was with a girl. Obviously, he liked her and he kissed her. The girl kissed him back. Go count your stars, guy. And then he was lucky enough that you were drunk, got horny, and took him to bed. So you used him. That's how you should look at it. Now, if he's stupid not to come back, that's his problem. You got what you wanted. Yeah, even though you were drunk, you shouldn't have. So it's not about you shouldn't have slept with the guy. The lesson here is you shouldn't have been drunk. There's nothing wrong with whatever you did. You wanted it, you got it. And you were powerful enough. If the guy didn't think you were pretty or didn't want or anything like that, he wouldn't have. Obviously, you were powerful enough in sexuality and he was yours. Now you're trying to judge back. Why did he not call back? Who gives a shit? That's what you wanted then. You wanted a relationship with the guy? Why? You just went on a date a couple of times with the guy, right? Obviously, you may not have actually liked the guy after a while if you had gone out and you hadn't had sex with him either. That night you were drunk. So the lesson is don't get drunk at the first time when you're trying to get to know a guy, because then your judgment is not going to be where you wanted it to be later on. Hmm? And this time you took advantage of the guy, but it could be the other way around. If you're drunk, he could take advantage from you and you would be okay because you're drunk. You don't necessarily want it to, but you were drunk, so you let it slip. And then you're going to kick yourself. This, you shouldn't kick yourself. It was you who instigated that. You had the power. So the guy went along, which means you were hot enough. Definitely. Hmm? Just don't get drunk next time so you can evaluate the guy for the first God knows how many times until you feel, okay, he's a sponge worthy. It's a Seinfeld kind of a expression, I guess, where Elaine was trying to find those, you know, those things that she was comfortable with when she wanted to have sex, and they were going to take it out of the market. So she went and bought all what she could of that kind of a contraceptive. And it was called sponge. So she would, because there were limited numbers, she would interview the, the dates to see if they're sponge worthy, meaning if they're worth it to have sex with them to spend one of those contraceptives, because there were limited numbers now. They took them off the market. So now the same thing. You should not drink and interview them for the first bunch of time you guys go out till you find them sponge worthy, and then you decide. Otherwise, you drink and you will not have a good opportunity to make a decision, proper decision that you would be okay with it. See what happened this time. But at least the good thing is that you were in charge and you instigated it and you wanted it, and then you got what you wanted, and now let the guy go. Nothing wrong you did. The drinking was wrong, but nothing else. So move on. Who cares about his judgment about you? Move on. If you want to talk to me in more detail, we can go into it. Go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment on Skype. A 1 hour appointment for a new client. I'll throw in another hour. We'll have 2 hours to discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Cricket Lover says, why you can't answering me? I did. Cricket, didn't I? What question did you have here? Ah, I did answer it. Ash says, much love, Brother Miran. I appreciate your words. Well, good. That's why I get the big bucks. All right, all right. Good. WCT says, sir, are you in the 808 state? I wish. I wish. No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm in Canada. Just 6 hours plane ride away from my hometown. I miss Hawaii like God knows how. And this whole business of things that they've created stops everything and everybody's life and plans. And you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to all the bullshit that they put us through. God damn it, criminals. So nobody can go anywhere. And there's so many hoops to jump through before they could. Tommy Nakajima. Tommy, are you of Japanese um, line? The name seems to be Japanese. Am I correct? Male 40, Pittsburgh. What would cause a woman to want to marry a man older than her father? Is this a sign of poor decision making? Not necessarily, but you might want to make that decision for her by discouraging her to. I mean, obviously, it's not you because you're only 40 years old. But some women have been around and tried different dates of the same age as theirs, and they were not pleasantly surprised or satisfied with the way the man handled his life or treated her or was mature enough to understand what she's looking for. And some women, that happens. So they look for someone who's older, more mature, experienced, more tolerant, and doesn't have the hangups that maybe at a younger age he had. And at the same time, sometimes the woman is looking for provisions. That she doesn't want to work all her life. She wants a man who has some means, a house, money, and or maybe a job that is providing for both of them. So she doesn't have to, for many reasons. Maybe she just doesn't want to work. Maybe she wants to be a housewife. Maybe she wants to be enjoying her life more. Just I don't know, go to yoga or do whatever the thing it is that some women have in mind that they think that's what life is all about. They don't want to create anything. They don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. And that's fine. That's how it was in the olden days. And women would take care of the house and men would go and get the bacon or the beef or the vegetable if you're vegetarian, whatever it is. But, but, and, or eventually women may feel that they want to have baby. And when they want to have a baby, they don't want to, they can't work. So they want a man who can provide and has money. And so they cannot find that in their own age category. They find it in the older man. And they're willing to put up with that, even though it could be a little bit, much older than they are. But that's their decision. One would be wise to advise such girlfriends who may genuinely love you, and but you got to make the decision for them. And when you see you're so much older than them, you know that the communication is not going to be there, even though you guys are sexually active and enjoy each other, and she's very happy and you're very happy with all the stuff that you guys do during the day or during the night and whatever. However, the communication is not going to be there. The level of communication, understanding, and about the world, life, and so on is not going to be there. And connecting on consciousness level is going to be difficult. So that is something that you could foresee and then maybe call it off. Despite of the sexual interest and sexual excitement that she brings at that age, obviously is going to be very exciting for the older man. And we all like to feel we are young and we are attracted to younger girls, or at least we would appreciate if a younger girl pays attention to us, like she's in her 20s or 30s and we're in our 50s and 60s. Feel good. But you got to rise above what makes you feel good and see if what makes you feel good is also good for you. And it might be very happy occasion and pleasant and fun for the first while, maybe a year or two. Then eventually you'll see that you're not interested to catch up with all the activities that you used to have when you were much younger. And you're not interested in the lack of communication on the same level with your girlfriend. And the interest that she has eventually is going to show that she wants to do other things. Maybe she wants to go to a disco. You've been there, you've done that. You don't want to be there anymore. And you're there, you feel out of place. And naturally, other people may see her being young. They may hit on her. You get upset, and she may reply or not. And that could create a problem. So many things that is normal when you're at the certain age and becomes very abnormal when you're not, or one of you is not. So you got to be the wiser of the two and just enjoy yourselves for a year or so and then eventually break it off. That's it. She gets the enjoyment and you get the enjoyment, but then you make the decision before you marry her and you let her know that this is why, because she should have a younger man and go through life, and as much as she thinks is the right thing to do right now, she will not, or at least you will not. You, I mean the person who's dealing with that, not necessarily you. All right. Tommy says, lol, lol to what? I don't know. And let's see if Tommy responded here. So, Tommy says, no, just the name. Oh, really? There must be some kind of a story to the name, Nakajima. All right. All right. Anyhow, welcome to be here. Okay, let's go to Sawit off shotgun. Sawed. Oh, sawed off shotgun. Okay. Sawed off shotgun. 20 male sawed off shotgun says, my partner has had a lot happen to her. She's sensitive and innocent. This puts me in a parental role. You're fucking 20 years old and you think you're in parental role? How old is she? I hope she's not below 18. What are you talking about? Says, I care a lot for her, but this puts me in extreme pressure, severe anxiety all of a sudden. Like, what do you do? Like, what does she expect? What is it that your role is now? Sawed Off Shotgun says, she also loved me a lot more than I love her. I'm worried because I want her to be self dependent. I thought of breaking up, but can't get myself to it. I can't hurt her, and I want her to be secured. How to control this anxiety and pressure of taking care of her while also handling my own stuff. Well, you got to make that decision soon enough because you can't go on like this. If you go on like that, you get used to her. Then you won't be able to break off with her, not because you feel sorry for her, because you can't. You're used to her. You're used to her because she becomes part of the routine of your life. And she becomes part of the order of your life, where the order is where mind finds security. And you don't want to lose your psychological security, which is now you realize is connected to her being in your life. And that becomes more difficult. And if she's hot and sexy and you like intimacy with her, that's going to be another important factor that it might stop you from breaking it off with her, because you, after all, you're a human being and you enjoy the pleasure you get. So you end up finding yourself in a place where you're being a parent, having a parental role to your girlfriend, but the girlfriend is also pretty and hot, and you're also used to being in that role and also used to getting that intimacy that you enjoy. Then you don't know what to do, because if you get break up with her, they also lose the pleasure, and the pleasure is something very powerful in us. And it could actually, the enjoyment of the pleasure could actually lead us astray if we can't understand what's good for us and make the right judgment at given times. Sawed Off Shotgun says, I care a lot for her. I've just not been dependent on this much, which is scary. Okay. Yeah. So you got to see what she does for you. Is it just because she's needing your support that you're cooling off? Like if she was who she is and exactly the way she looks and everything, but she didn't have that background, so you didn't have to be a parental, didn't have to have a parental role with her. Would you not like her then? If she was independent, wouldn't pay so much attention to you, and you had to chase her, but she looked the same and she was the same as she is now, but she would play the game right. Like she was independent, she didn't need you so much, so she would behave it differently, and that different behavior would have attracted you. Would you think that would happen? Because if that's the case, then it's not necessarily that you don't like her, it's because you want someone who's not so easily available to you. And you feel the upper hand now. And that's kind of turn off sometimes to us men when she's too available. And when they're not available and we want them to be available, then we chase them. So you got to figure that out. WCT says, I have to go. I will go to your website, Mehran. The universe brought me to this live. Yeah, well, thank you very much for thinking of it that way. I hope the universe will be kind to you, and I'm sure it is. But anyhow, I'm here on the site. You can always make an appointment with me, and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Every one of you understand that I'm available, and I have a site, mind@seekstruth.com. You can go in there, take a look at my books, and pick up a ebook if you like. And if it's a paper version, I'll sign it and send it, but it's expensive. So go for the ebook. It's simple and cheap, but it's got lots of good information in the book, Me, My Psyche, and I. You will enjoy it. Otherwise, if you want to talk to me about the issues that you're facing, you're more than welcome to make an appointment for a Skype consultation. And for new clients, I throw in 1 extra hour for the hour that you register at the same appointment. We'll have 2 hours to explore things and discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Ash says, have you tried speaking to, oh, you're talking to someone else, okay. All right. Sawed Off Shotgun says, actually, she even tries not to bring stuff up. She's just happy to be with me. That's a blessing. But her friend keeps me updated and has told me a lot of her past, wants me to be attentive, which puts me in pressure. Fuck the friend. Don't worry about the friend. You find things out if she wants to tell you herself. Stop this sidekick business. I don't know who the friend is. Is it a woman or is it a man? Either way, just tell them, listen, I have a relationship with her now. I will find out. Otherwise, it will be like a job. I don't want you to constantly feed me that. I'm not her doctor. Um, I'm in a relationship with her, and I will discuss things with her. She will tell me what she wants to tell me, and she doesn't. She doesn't. But backdoor uh, information coming to me is behind her back, and that's not honest anyhow. Maybe she told the friend some stuff, but she didn't expect the friend come and tell you. So you make that clear with the friend and get that out of your system, and then you deal with her individually without somebody on the sidelines coaching you or asking or expecting things. Yeah, yeah. Get that. Make it clear to that whoever friend is, and say, look, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not in a relationship. If it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. And stop uh, making me to have a certain role in her life. My role is a boyfriend, and that's the best I can do. So stop interfering. I don't want to hear anymore. Tommy says, thanks, lol, to Spongeworth. Yeah, it was a funny one. Sort of Shotgun says, okay. Sort of Shotgun says, 20. She's 20. Okay. Look, you can't be anybody's daddy at this age. Just, if it's working with her, ask her, help her as much as you could, and tell her, look, if it's not working, just simply says, look, it's not working for me. You can't be somebody's daddy or somebody. I don't know what kind of a problem she has. I haven't heard anything. Some kind of fictitious, some kind of not fictitious, some illusory problem. I don't know if it's psychological problem she has, trauma problems she has, what she's gone through. These are not known to me. If you want, you can make an appointment with me on Skype and we'll discuss it. But here, it's not. There's not enough time, or there are other things that we should be doing. So you need to make sure what she's in and what your role should be, and it shouldn't be more than what you can handle. You're a 20-year-old and you're not supposed to be someone's daddy at the moment. And I understand all the emotional challenges that you have, and how pure you are, that you want to help someone, especially if it's your girlfriend, and you feel obligated in one way or another to help her, and that's honorable. But at the same time, you're 20-year-old. You've got your life in front of you, and you haven't been. You're not supposed to have a mandate of raising somebody else or getting them out of trouble. They should make their own decisions and sort things out, and then come to you as you will sort things that is belong to you out, and then you will offer yourself, mostly if you have such problems, to your girlfriend, and then you'll see where it goes. Mazakaral says, hello, Mehran, 34 male, Australia. He says, I'm trying to move on with my life after my ex, but deep memories of my past with her is holding me back. Listen, everybody has deep memories. Since childhood, we have memories. What are we supposed to carry that on? And every time we want to, move on and just rely on the memories, what the fuck the memory is going to do for you? What actually does a memory have that you actually rely on the memory to set your life and bring happiness to you. With the memory, you get shit for happiness. Nothing, zero. Nothing is actual. So what are you going to do? You have a memory of all the wonderful food that you ate in Paris or I ate in Hawaii. What does that do for my hunger right this fucking minute? Mahi mahi, I had amazing. Yeah, but that was in Hawaii. Right now, I gotta have something that is gonna keep my stomach full. I can't live on the memory of all the good food that I had. You can't live on the memory of all the wonderful, amazing experiences, relationships that you had, or the intimacy you had, how wonderful that girl or how hot she was. Our fucking memory doesn't do shit when you got your need for pleasure and happiness and balance and oxytocin and all the other things that we all need every day. So all that memory can go to hell because it's going to do you no good but hold you back. They're anchors. You can learn from them and not make the same mistake or same choices, selections for the future, and make a better choices and selections, and make a better relationships because of the experience you have. That's fine. That kind of memory is okay. But you can't rely on the belief that the memory is going to actually be better than the actual experience with a woman who's you have a chance to get to know her. Or you can have a chance to get to know somebody and go get to know her. So stop this hanging on the memory. The memory worth less than the shit you go and dump it in the bathroom every morning, because it's not going to do anything for you. It's just going to make you emotionally imbalanced to be ready to offer yourself to another woman. So, yeah, well, you got to fix that, because obviously we know, say, I feel as though I don't care about myself if I live or die. Is that how fucking worthless your life has become? That some pussy in the past is now made your whole life worthless because you can't be between her legs? Is that it? That's it? You came to this world to be between her legs, and if you can't be, you're worth shit? That's how you think of yourself? That's what we rely on in this world? Every single fucking one of us is a piece of the puzzle in this world. Whether you know me or not, what you do in this life is going to affect me. So you better fucking do something good because it's going to affect me. And I would better do something fucking good because it's going to affect you. Somebody is India, somebody in China, somebody in Japan, somebody in Iran, somebody in France, somebody in Russia. They're all living their lives, but everything they do is going to fill the puzzle of the whole big picture. You better fucking pull your weight. And I don't want a losing, lame teammate that it can't pull its weight, and I got to end up pulling it more. Everything you do is going to affect me, and everything I do is going to affect you. We need you. We fucking need you. You can't fly the coop by talking this bullshit. I don't care if I live or die. Just what? Because you can't be between her legs. That's it. That's the value of her life. That's all the efforts your mom and dad did, all the money and education, everything you went through life just to get that. If you can't have that, you don't know if you want to live or die. Nothing in this universe, the rain and the sunshine and the weather and the beauty of the women and all the opportunities that you have, none of that worth it. All these abundance, none of the experience of living and going through challenges of life, becoming stronger, worth to you anymore. Anything, none of this life, this story, this journey has any worth and value for you. You've gone to the end of it and you saw there's no worth and value for you. That's why you say either between her legs or I don't know if I want to live or die. Why don't you hang around, buddy? There's so many amazing things out there. You haven't even come across them, let alone making a decision based on what your past has been that is the best you've ever had. Build yourself, endow yourself with energy and experience and education, and go through the journey of life and discover that was one lesson, one experience for you to learn what you've learned, and carry that knowledge and go forward and discover other islands and treasures that you can find in them. These bullshits that you're talking about, cop-outs. We need the strong people, and you, just because you're in this world, you are one of the strong people, one of the chosen ones to be in this world. Do you know how many people, how many sperms are sacrificed for you to be born? When your mom and dad actually were doing the nasty, hmm? There were 30 million sperms at every shot, or maybe 300 million sperms. And out of all that, they were all sacrificed. You were the chosen one to come out. And now all of that worth and the reliability and the reliance that the universe has had on you to be born, to take on your position in this puzzle, to move the universe forward, is all going to be dead between the leg of some other entity, some other woman. That's it. That is it, your value. You can't see the bigger value that you have, that your memory now stops you from going forward. Now, get your ass off the ground, go to the gym, get strong, get healthy mentally, find things you like to do, endow yourself with education and work harder and make lots of money and make some new, amazing, strong Iron Man out of yourself and go forward. Find what the universe has planned for you in the future. You will never see it if you don't be determined to be part of this journey. We need you, so don't talk shit like that anymore. Yeah, go love something else. There's so many things in this world to love, and do not diminish all women to that. There are better women out there, and there are better things in the universe than what you have experienced, unless you think that at your age, whatever you experience, that's all there is in the universe, because you've seen it all. Unless you've gone through time travel and gone to the end of it and see there's nothing better than then you have got shit in your head. Because I assure you, there are amazing things awaiting for you. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean they don't exist. Get your ass together, go prepare for it. There's some amazing things going to come to your life if you go forward. All right, let's see. Sort of Shotgun says, thank you so much. Liked and subscribed. It's about bloody time. Aaron is here. Says, hey, sir. I'm Aaron Tony from New Zealand. One of the other places that I like. I've been suffering from pretty much all kinds of OCD and anxiety for the past 2 years. I always feel like there is a layer of pressure filled with intrusive thoughts. So what? Isn't there a layer of pleasure, a layer of shit in your guts all the time, all throughout the day? You accepted that we in our intestines don't just have good food, we also have shit there. And it's part of life. And you deal with it. But it doesn't interfere with your accomplishments and your learning capabilities, your functioning, and so on, because that's where the shit happens. And that's the mechanism of the biological portion of your entity that's supposed to turn food into energy, and then the refuse of it is shit. And it's there in the intestine until you get rid of it, and it still stays in there, But you're okay with that. So the brain is another organ, also creates garbage. Every organ, every single part of us that is involved in creating energy and doing their job, in order to do their job, there's a certain amount of refuse that is created because they're doing their job. In our intestine, we get energy out of the food, and the rest of it, the refuse, is the shit that you go and dump it out. In the liver, it creates what it does, and then it's got toxins that it gets rid of it. The kidney siphons and purifies the blood, and then gets rid of the residues. The brain too, its job is to make thoughts, and it's got intrusive thoughts as the residues. The bullshit that is there is part of its function. Your job is to separate the bullshit from the usable ones. ignore the bullshit, and that's how you get rid of them, by ignoring them. There's no siphon, there's no flush to flush it and get rid of it like you do biologically. But by ignoring them, you're getting rid of them, because you get them dissipated, because you don't pay attention. You don't pay attention to them, they don't become visible. But then don't become visible, then they're learning. The brain is rewired to, as soon as it makes nonsense, it dissipates. Especially, we have a lever that automatically is supposed to shut down the intrusive thoughts, called caudate nucleus in striatum, where it's in the basal ganglia in the midbrain. But when it malfunctions, these things that are supposed to dissipate, which is supposed to automatically, this caudate nucleus, to shut down intrusive thoughts. When it malfunctions, it doesn't shut down intrusive thoughts. They hover around, they hang around. And that's why you keep seeing it. Otherwise, normally, intrusive thought that every brain and human being makes it shows up, and then caudate nucleus grabs onto it and shuts it down. And then you say, oh, what was that? And then you go on. You just don't see it anymore. When it malfunctions, you keep seeing it longer than you should. And then you think, oh, it means something. Oh, it means something about me. I have to interpret it. No, it's the shit that you're supposed to tell and ignore, to dissipate. When it's not dissipating automatically according to the system that is designed for you, you're supposed to ignore it to make it dissipate. And in this ignoring constantly, you will rewire the brain to learn that manually it should get rid of it until caudate nucleus gets back to automatic working. And that will happen once you keep manually retrain the brain to rewire itself through neuroplasticity. All right, enough of that. Let's go on to sort of Shotman says, and yes, I go, okay. You got that. And Roger said, how do you stop dreaming about her and get morning sadness? Well, just jerk off, and that's the end of that. Because after that, you will not be sad. You just say, oh, I don't need her. You're sad because you think you need her. You got to create a condition and situation in your life that you will see through your success and accomplishments. You don't need her, because you can replace her, and you can find other things through your knowledge, abilities, expertise. Create a certain kind of an order, certain kind of routine in life, accomplishments in life that makes you proud, makes you happy, and that energy exudes outwardly, which attracts other girls, better girls, more opportunities for you, and then you no longer need her. When you don't need her, you won't feel sad. Right now, you haven't done all these. That's why you need her. What? You need her intimacy. You need to feel good about yourself through her, which is all bullshit. That's why you feel sad in the mornings. All right. Mazakaral says, thanks for the advice and the motivation, Mehran. I really needed that boost. You're awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Don't forget, guys, if you're benefiting from these channels, God damn it, promote the channel in your social media. Share the videos that you like and you think it's a good video, so share it, and then talk about it in chat lines and get this channel moving to 1 million subscribers. Otherwise, we just disappear. John G says, it's hard to replace an 8 out of 10. Then look for it. It's not, because you've got two other numbers. 9 can replace 8 and 10 can replace 8. And the 8 that is not really with you doesn't worth shit, even 0. Because only 8 is worth as 8 if she is for you. If you remember, I always said, if this wheel doesn't turn for you, I don't care if it turns at all. I don't care if she's 8 or 10. If it's not for you, that doesn't worth more than 1. And that's nothing to write home about. So remember that. If it's not for you, you don't give a shit about it. Doesn't care how pretty she might be. And all right. If she wants to space, John, then give her space. But give her lots of space so she can just go get lost. And you can find in a space where people don't want to get lost and want to be coming towards you. So if you say my chick long distance girlfriend broke up with me because I couldn't give her the space, then give her the space, because the one who wants the space is not for you. Get rid of her. And Ash Drum says, perfectly put, and thank you for that, Ash. Okay, guys, it's 1 hour, 40 minutes, and it's time for me to start making some potatoes and sweet potatoes, get potassium in the system, and get ready to have dinner, and then go for a walk. Never forget, exercise and walking and taking good care of yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally. I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. Don't forget to promote the channel. Don't forget to call on me if you need to talk to me on Skype, mind@seekstruth.com. Make an appointment and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. In the meantime, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com, making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. Well, we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you. Thank you very much.